Hi, thanks for joining us at the Powerhouse with Joyce Young today. We have with us Kalam Chu at Kalamakeup. I've known her for many years. We've worked together on different projects. So thanks for joining. So why don't we start off with a quick intro in terms of what you do and how did you get to this point?
I'm a professional makeup artist in Hong Kong. I've been doing this since 2004, and my work, it's pretty much like every kind of makeup I've been doing, like fashion. Uh, I've done a movie with you.
Yeah.
I teach makeup classes and I also do like corporate weddings or pretty much anyone who needs makeup service or hairstyling service in Hong Kong. I will help them.
And how did you get started? Have you always been interested in makeup or did you try another career before you get into this one?
So it's quite interesting because like back in 2003 when Hong Kong had SARS,
Right.
which is completely not similar. I guess it's like this is the year with the COVID-19 is even more severe, I think. But
Right.
back in 2003, I just graduated from Hong Kong U. So my
Mhm.
first job was like teaching at kids gallery, like playgroup, arts and crafts stuff. When I graduated, it was so hard to find a job. So my principal was saying, "Oh, why don't you and your twin sister, because I have a twin sister, like
Mhm.
teach in our school?" So I
Yeah.
said, okay. So I've been teaching there for 1 year. And then I was like, wow, I can't handle kids every day. So I really want to have a change. And then
Yeah.
in that year, my best friend graduated from Parsons in New York. So I went to her graduation. So like she asked me, oh, would you like to go to the New York Fashion Week backstage? So I
Right.
said, oh, of course, and so I get the pass and I went in and I actually met the most inspirational makeup artist for me, like Pat McGrath. And
Right.
so at that point, I was like, wow, super inspired and really want to become a makeup artist. So I came back to Hong Kong that summer and start learning how to do makeup. Yeah, that's
Wow.
like a very crucial trip for me to be in New York because without that, I would not realize I want to become a makeup artist.
Wow. When you're studying in Hong Kong, did you ever doubt it that? Because, sometimes you have interests, but then once you start taking steps towards it, you may or may not feel like, oh, okay, I want to carry this through. So once you start taking those classes, you feel like this is it.
It's very true because like the makeup journey, especially when you're training, I still have to keep teaching to make income. And then like
Right.
at night I go to night school. So it
Hmm.
has been like almost a year and a half of doing this. And then there are times I really think, oh, should I really invest the time and money to become a makeup artist? Because
Hmm.
it's like a lot of time you have to do a lot of free job, like
Right.
to get the experience. I remember in our class there would be maybe 25 trained makeup artists, and only
Hmm.
probably like 5 people will still be a makeup artist today, or even less than that. So it's definitely a very difficult journey to be
Hmm.
an artist in Hong Kong. Or I guess in all sort of like field in terms of the art industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you said, you have to do some free jobs, but yeah, what are the steps towards getting towards um, quitting the other job and, and saying, this is it, I'm doing this full time.
Probably like when I have more friends asking me to start doing, let's say, wedding makeup or party
Hmm.
makeup, and then I feel can see that I have a bit more stable income. Then I decided, okay, this is it. I'm gonna put my full time, like my whole heart in the makeup industry. I was quite lucky because I the school I went to, they were really one of the biggest makeup school in Hong Kong. So they
Hmm.
got all the big shows or events that I can participate or sometimes to act as a leader, so I can gain so much experience through
That's great.
those moments. And yeah, I remember we were doing the Miss Asia or the pageant, and like
Hmm.
those experiences are very precious. Even though I remember it was like crazy working hours. You work till 4 in the morning, and then call time is 6. So you basically
Oh,
have 2 hours to shower and then pretty much go back to work. But
right.
those are the experience that train my skills to be faster because like we have to let's say free makeup artists to do 18 like this pageants like makeup and hair. Yeah,
Right.
so those are very precious. I don't think I want to go back to those moments again.
Right. Yeah. What would you say is one of the kind of turning points, or kind of a very a good move to help you, further
Yeah.
your career in makeup?
I think there are a couple stages in my career that really helps me. So the very, very first step is I remember when I turned 30,
Mhm.
I actually had the party at your studio, remember? Like at
Yes, I
your,
do. That's
and
right.
then like when I
Yeah.
turned 30, I was actually working for Channel V at that time. Channel
Mhm.
V is one of the Asia biggest music channel in Asia. And then I was there for like almost 2 years. And then
Mhm.
they suddenly decided to move the station back to Singapore. So I lost my job and when I turned 30
Oh,
and I felt,
right.
oh, this is like a midlife crisis for me. But
Right.
then like at that time, my then boyfriend was saying, why don't you start up your own company? Like,
Mm.
to have your own studio and everything. And I
Right.
thought, well, it's gonna be very difficult because I'm worried that I'm not making enough to pay rent. But then
Yeah.
because with his encouragement and support, like I managed to get a studio in Central, which I'm still like currently using as my makeup studio.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So that's a really big turning point for me because at that time I established my company called Kalamakeup.
Mhm.
And I at that time I worked with a few makeup artist friends of mine. So
Mhm.
like whenever I get a request, let's say for fashion shows or even for weddings, I need more than one makeup artist, and I will arrange all the jobs with those makeup artists. And then
Mhm.
from that moment, they've been working with me since like 2010 till now. So it's been exactly like 10 years. I
Wow.
have been having the company now. Yeah.
Right. Right. That's awesome. And you've been at the same
Yeah.
place. Yeah, exactly. The rent there and being able to do, yeah, makeup and classes. And is that how you kind of develop classes as well?
Yeah. So like in the studio, I provide mostly makeup classes, and then like
Mm.
people who are getting married, like usually they want to have a trial before the makeup on the wedding day.
Mhm.
So I usually have a trial here with them, and like before when we have a lot of events, let's say like an IFC or landmark, the models will come to my studio and get ready.
Mhm.
So it's actually been very bustling in the studio like when we have events and weddings, trials, etc.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was mentioning like the different stage in my life, like in my career, that makes me feel like wow, I'm so grateful to be a makeup artist.
Yeah.
I remember there was an event for a bank for 4 days.
Mhm.
Literally, I was asked to actually have a team of 35 hair and makeup artists. So at
Wow.
that time, it was a bit stressful for me to arrange that because I always want to make sure the people that I work with, I have worked with them
Mhm.
is someone that I know and I can trust because it will affect my company's name, right? If anything they
Yeah,
did like which is
for sure.
appropriate. So
Yeah.
it was like a very challenging but like yet very satisfying job for me for the 4 days.
Mhm.
And then like we got also Macau Fashion Week, which requires also a big team. And I
Mhm.
realized like I learned a lot actually to be a team leader because you really need to have good time management. You need to make sure everyone know what they're doing in order to deliver a good job. So those
Mhm.
are the stages where I thought, wow, this is great because it's I can actually share my joy as a makeup artist with all the people that have the same passion in.
Mhm.
Uh, and actually, really fun to work as a team instead of just me doing makeup for
Right.
my clients.
Right.
Yeah.
You also work with a few all the time, right? Is there a set group of friends and makeup artists, or it is pretty much under your company?
So like every makeup artist I've been working with throughout the last 10 years, they are their own makeup artists. I mean, they
Hmm.
do their own job as well.
Right.
So, but whenever I need a team, they will become part of my team because I
Hmm.
don't want to be like, oh, you're working under my company, so you're not allowed to do anything. But
Right.
they still
Right.
have the freedom. But whenever we have a job together, everyone's very happy to team up and then
Mm.
cooperate and work as
Right.
a team, which is the
Right.
great thing about our service, I guess, because everyone's like have that communication, and we have been working for so many events together. So they kind of know what the role is and like how to deliver the service to our clients.
Right. On the flip side, is there any like
Mhm.
one example which is kind of like a nightmare job?
I would consider myself pretty lucky because throughout the 17 years, I can record maybe like two, well, maybe a bit more than two, but like very memorable clients that I have in my head would be like uh, occasionally there will be one client that it's not very reasonable, so
Right.
they will make a review on you, and then like but it's completely made up, but there's nothing you can do when you come I mean like if you face a client like that, because apparently like Google was saying, oh, you cannot remove a review just because someone is writing something bad about you. So
I
it's
see.
like it's actually helped me to train your EQ and like how you deal with the situation when you come across like not so happy clients who is not being reasonable.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
That's always tough. Yeah.
yeah.
um,
I mean, I'm sure you experienced that as well. And another thing, it's last year, which is for me, it's quite it makes a big impact because last year my mom was not very well.
mm,
Around this time, actually, yeah. So it was the time actually she had to go through a big surgery, and then it was the time when we were doing the Macau Fashion Week for the second year, and
mhm,
then because I need to be there for my family and my mom, so I didn't have the chance to actually go and lead my team to do the Macau Fashion Week. But
right.
like, I mean, there were challenges, but at the same time, like I managed to like, communicate with my team. So I guess at the end, like the challenges was like solved, but it was like quite memorable because I was trying to maintain, keep my work, but at
Mhm.
the same time to be with my family because it was a very difficult time for me
Time.
last year. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm sure that was, yeah, that was really, really tough to go through and balance everything.
yeah.
Throughout the years, what do you think is the most difficult thing for having your own business and being an entrepreneur?
I think like anyone who have their own business really needs to be very self-disciplined because
Mhm.
that you can easily like not spend time marketing yourself or like not focusing on the work. So like I try to have my own daily routine, but like I still focus also. My morning time is usually like going to yoga or workout, and
Mhm.
then I'll start working in the afternoon. Then because I used to be the type of like person will work from probably like 10 till 11 in the studio and never really pay attention to my lunch, or I skip dinner, that kind
Mhm.
of like people. But then
Mhm.
after a while, I realized, okay, like I don't really have to work that hard, but like, like quality versus quantity.
Mhm.
So I eventually developed, okay, I need to put time for myself, like to take good care of myself, and then I will be able to focus maybe like 6 hours or five, even shorter, like 5 hours in my work during the
Mhm.
day, and then I can go home instead of like working till 11 and never spend any time being at home.
Right.
Yeah.
So make it more
So it's
efficient.
yeah, yeah, efficiency, and then just like giving time, also loving myself, I guess.
Yes. Taking care of yourself, yeah. Kind of your own wellness, right? And as you said, you
Yeah,
do a lot of exercise and in yoga as well?
yeah. So like I mean like it's quite interesting because I have been doing yoga actually the same amount of time as a makeup artist. I pretty much started the same journey together.
Mhm.
I also trained to be a yoga teacher back in 2016, but I
Right.
don't really like teach super like full time. I only teach occasionally when my clients want to have one-on-one
Mhm.
yoga training, and I'm focusing more the alignment part. But I
Mhm.
think yoga really helps me as a makeup artist, like physically or like mentally, because physically, like there's a lot of movement that we do, always bending our waist that will hurt our body. So you're like
Right.
reminding yourself to have a good posture. And also like from the mental aspect, it's like, let's say I remember I was working on a cruise ship. Like it was rocky, and like I really used my yoga move to like stable myself and
Right.
focus, you know, like.
Right.
So these are the little things that I can actually apply while I'm working. And
Right.
then like, because yoga is all about being present, so that really reminds me when ever I work with my client, then I will be like very present,
Mm.
because I really enjoy the conversation, like the chit chat with the client, to get to meet many different people through my work. So
Mhm.
that's really give me more passion in what I do, because sometimes like after like so many years, I do have moment where I thought, should I give up, or should I just stop doing what I'm doing? But
Mhm.
then it's always the connection with the people that
Mhm.
makes me realize, oh, I really enjoy makeup. I mean, I would try to be a makeup artist as long as my hands are not shaking, you know, like. But then
Right.
because of yoga, and then I can make sure I got strong arms, and like, you know, physically I can do this. So it's like a
Right.
cycle or affecting each other.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's
which
good.
is
Yeah. What other challenges along the way as a business that you feel like was the hardest thing to do, but you had to overcome it, of
yeah.
course.
Like currently, I guess it's because of the COVID-19, we're not
Mhm.
really, I mean, a lot of people might be like worried, oh, have close contact. So I really have to think
Mm.
about, okay, like, what can we do, what I can do to keep my makeup business, or like keep doing makeup for people. So
Mhm.
like very soon I'm gonna launch like the online makeup classes. So
Great.
it will be something like, it's quite different, because a lot of people come to me and learn makeup. They say, oh, I tried to learn it from YouTube, but it's not the same, you know, when
Right.
you actually have someone like telling you, oh, this is wrong, like you should apply your foundation like with these strokes. Like
Mhm.
it's very personal, and makes a huge difference. So like my current plan is like, I'm gonna definitely have more online makeup classes, but beforehand I would probably send them all the like testing. Let's say if they have to learn the foundation, the base, then they will have samples of the color. So at
Mhm.
least like they will not be having no tools to work on. But
Right.
I guess it's something that we can, for me as a makeup artist, I can do in order to keep my passion going and also keep my business running.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
if this virus thing is gonna keep staying with us until the
Right.
vaccine come.
Right. So I
Yeah,
kind of have to find a way that is not a person to person contact, right? So how do you kind of maintain your business or grow it without that? So
yeah,
that makes sense. Online classes is always great.
yeah.
And some products too, right?
I have my own makeup brushes for my student. Sometimes I want to refer them to the better quality product, but then I believe, oh, if I come up with a set that it's like relevant and useful, and then it can be only very simple. Instead of 50 brushes, we can have only 5 brushes, but can do a full
Mhm.
evening like long lasting makeup. So that's why I
Right.
developed my own brushes. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Hopefully
So
one
it's
day I will have my makeup line, but like I think is something that I need to really put time, and also like, because I want to have a line that is high quality, but we really need time to focus on.
right and test it
Yeah,
out and yeah, put prototypes and all that. I'm sure it's quite a process as well. Yeah. You talked a little bit about exercising and kind of keeping the wellness. Where else would you find your inspiration?
I always like the creative part of the makeup, because like, you know, in Hong Kong sometimes the client will be like, they already have what they have in mind, so they will be
Mhm.
like giving me, okay, this is the hair makeup reference, you have to either copy or, you know, interpret them yourself. But
Mhm.
like on spare time I still test shoot because I
Yep.
think test shoot is something that I can be like, okay, do what I want to try on. And I usually get inspiration not just on like the phone, because like that's more, you will at the end copy someone's idea. But
Mm.
now since I moved to Lama, there is so much nature, and then sometimes I look at, I don't know, like on the beach, and then you look at some leaves, and then you can create a pattern. So
Mhm.
like actually going back to nature actually can bring me back some inspiration, which is quite interesting. I think I would never thought I'm more a nature type of person, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what was the decision that made you move to Llama Island?
So it's quite interesting. Like if 2 years ago, we would never consider like moving there because I always have friends who live there. And when seeing them rushing to catch the ferry to go home, I'll be like, wow, I would not want to do that. But one Friday before I moved in pretty much like 2018 September. So it's been more than a year and a half now I lived there. Yeah,
Right.
I went with my sister on a Friday. I remember going there. I was like, wow, this is actually super nice to be in. And then on the way back on the ferry, I actually Google search, okay, what's available to rent. And
Right.
then the first apartment, the first place that came up, I was like, oh wow, it's amazing, but it's actually not for rent. But
Mm.
anyway, I pressed contact agent because I'm quite a more impulsive person. So somehow I went to see that place and then I was like, wow, I love that whole like the environment in Lama. And eventually I guess after 2 months we moved into that house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
And
so
it's the
like I
first
think
one you
also,
found. That's great.
yeah, it's the first one. And of course we're looking at other different places even in Discovery Bay. But then it's also that kind of attitude I have in life. I'm more the impulsive compared to my twin sister, I guess. Like so, so it's also yeah, like a lot of time I will make a decision, but then it's either is bad or not. It becomes something that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
feel like then the impulsiveness helped decisions along the way, or sometimes hurt? But in general, how do you feel that worked
Yeah,
to your advantage?
I think being impulsive now because of like past experience, I try not to be super impulsive because
Mm,
like obviously you learn from your experience that you get a bit more rational, but like
mm,
but that part of personality is still in me, but I never regret anything that even though it's like a very quick decision, it will always help if you can make a decision faster, I guess. Like sometimes
right.
because opportunity doesn't come like very often, so somehow I would say it will help either in my life or career path or all sort of walk of life. Yeah.
That's true, because sometimes you don't want to, overthink things, right? Some
Yeah.
decisions, you try to
Hey,
evaluate everything.
I'm wearing this.
Oh,
Can you read this?
excellent. Yes, don't overthink it.
It says don't overthink it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
like so
totally
I
appropriate.
that's like my yeah,
Your
that's kind of
motto.
like my
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
don't overthink it.
Okay.
I love it.
Life's too short.
Same. Don't
Yeah.
overthink
Life,
things, right? Life's too short. That's right. Do what you really feel, right? Feel inside and feel it's the right thing to do. That's great. And with that, what are the some of the next steps?
because of this virus is honestly really affecting like everyone. So
Mhm.
a lot of the project has been put on hold.
Right,
But like I said, I will try to bring myself opportunity by hosting online makeup like
right.
classes
Classes. Yeah.
or yeah, and I guess like it's it's tough for everyone, but then I always thought okay, think oh, I'm not alone, a lot of people are going through the same thing. It's
Hmm.
good to have challenge in life because like then I appreciate, oh wow, I used to be able to work 5 jobs a day, that's amazing, you know. So like I remember when we first start to have the virus, I go back to all my client list and then try to contact them and try to like follow up with like
Yeah.
with them to see if there's any chance they will need makeup. But then uh, at the same time, I realized, wow, like it's actually I have achieved quite a lot throughout the 17 years. So please don't be sad or down, because currently everyone is probably don't want to spend too much money on like
Right.
luxury, right?
Right.
So that's like kind of helped me. And also I guess for myself, it's like stop spending so much money, stop buying makeup because I have way
Yeah.
too much makeup. In comparison for me this year and last year, because of my mom's situation, I always appreciate the fact that at least I'm not going to the hospital every day. I mean, like, sadly, my mom passed away, but then
Mm.
it's like it has been a very crazy time because she was in the hospital for 6 months, and 6 months every day we
Wow.
were in the hospital every day, and that
Right.
was juggling with work. And I always appreciate, okay, now, um, yeah, like it sucks, but then we're just staying at home trying to, like help each other by not spreading any virus. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I guess a
Well,
lot of people need to learn like how to relax as well. Because in
mm,
Hong Kong, because like looking at my sister, like she's
right.
sometimes a bit more stressed than me.
Right.
Maybe later you can have a chance to interview with her, but then she's still
Absolutely.
like planning a lot of things like for her calligraphy side. But like
Yeah.
I'll be the one who will be like, okay, just take it easy. Why don't you stay home? Why don't you like just, yeah, relax? But
Just relax. Right.
I guess
Yeah.
a lot of people need to learn. I mean, it's difficult. Sometimes I feel bad just being staying home, and
Right.
but at the same time, you just have to think, okay, I'm helping the whole Hong Kong or the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I was going to ask you, how do you, I mean, with a twin sister, you guys, I know you guys are very close and you do a lot of things together. So how has that, kind of help, or you guys kind of bounce ideas off each other for each other's, business?
It's amazing to have my sister back because she was away for 11 years before she
Right.
moved back to Hong Kong. And then currently, well, she has been working upstairs, literally upstairs,
Yeah.
for like last 4 or 5 years. And it's great because whenever, let's say I have some issue or like emotional with work, and then I would discuss with her, and then she will use her um, uh, viewpoint to help me to, okay, rethink and be a bit less emotional, I guess. So
Right.
it's like we both help each other, and I appreciate when she asked me, oh, how do I deal with this client, and then I will use my experience to help her, and especially the this year, actually like last year, she started going to the gym with me, and then I really enjoy those time that we spend together because like doing most of the day, like she'll be quite busy working, I'll be working here, so even though she's just one floor up, I don't necessarily see her all the time.
Mhm.
But like so it's nice to have her around
Right. Yeah.
when
No,
we're
that's
not
great.
arguing.
Yeah. Well, that's part of being siblings, right? You kind of argue, but also really help each other.
Yeah.
And with that, any other advice? I mean, we did talk about don't overthink it, but any other advice for our audience in terms of either, in general, getting into makeup business or just generally become an entrepreneur?
If you have find out what your passion like or what you like, you just
Mhm.
really don't give up. My sister always said, oh, never forget the beginner spirit, which is a really good quotation from
Yeah.
her favorite artist. Because like a lot of time being artists or anyone who changed a career, it's like you do have to sacrifice a lot to pursue
Yeah.
your passion, right? But I
Hmm.
think if you have the heart, no matter how old you are, like as long as you're passionate, you love what you do, then it will become something that it's successful, I think. Because I have recently trained a lady. She's one of the Filipino domestic helper, and she
Mm.
basically like wants to become a makeup artist, which is very very cool, I think. And then I've been training her, and then she's really smart, and then she's been doing makeup for all the other friends, and that really helps me as well to remember, okay, never forget the beginner spirit,
Right.
because when you get these chances to meet someone who actually just started, right, and then and you remember, oh, this is the path that you have to go through, and then I'm happy that she will tell me I've been inspiring her as well.
Right.
So I guess, yeah, it's like I benefit from teaching her, and she also obviously learned techniques and stuff as a makeup artist. Yeah.
Right. Right. That's great. It's a great thing to remember. Never forget that
Yeah.
beginner spirit. Yeah, always keep it fresh, keep it, exciting, and remember why you're passionate about something, right? So
Yeah.
thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Like you too, I think like you're inspiring, like because you were also like a very passionate photographer, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, and I changed careers, so that's, as you said, that's definitely tough as well. Kind of
Yeah.
switching from a very stable job to something that's more creative and free flowing, and
Yeah.
starting your own business.
Yeah.
So definitely tough. And but as you said, when you find something you like, you uh, keep at it, work hard, and you'll find a way, and keep
Yeah.
doing it. And
Exactly.
yeah, well, thank you very much for joining
Well,
us. Yeah.
thank you, Joyce.